Okay, so we're doing Thursday, chapter 23. In the previous chapters, um, we spoke about basically we said how everything is Hashem's unity, the idea of it's all the divine word, which is within Hashem, within the source. And at the same time, we there's klipa, there's concealment of that. The many tzimtzumim. And now we're going to show that. So we have this like issue that on one hand everything's unified with Hashem. On the other hand, klipa, the concealment, is
Opposite.
it's the opposite. So you got these two opposites. So where does that put us? So the answer is that we're going to see that through mitzvahs you can surrender and dissipate the klipa.
Wow.
Okay. In light of all of this, in light of all that has been said, we can better understand and more fully and clearly elucidate the statement of Zohar: the Torah and God are entirely one. And the commentary in the Tikkunei Zohar that the 240 commandments are the 240 organs of the divine king. For the mitzvot constitute God's innermost will and his true desire, which is clothed in all the upper and lower worlds, thereby giving them life. The very life and sustenance of all the worlds is dependent upon the performance of the mitzvahs by the creatures of the lower world, as is known. So let me go slow. I'm sorry. The Torah and God are entirely one.
Right.
And the 240 commandments are the organs of Hashem, limbs of Hashem. What does that mean? Because the mitzvah, because everything is one with Hashem, but there's klipa that hides it. But however, the mitzvahs and the Torah do not hide it.
Mm-hmm.
They reveal it, because the mitzvahs constitute God's innermost will and his true desire, which is clothed in all the upper and lower worlds, thereby giving them life. The very life and sustenance of all the worlds is dependent upon the performance of the mitzvahs by the creatures of the lower worlds, as is known. So meaning, if God's whole will for the whole cosmos and universe is in order to make people to do mitzvahs, so that justifies the whole. Everything else is a tool to get to the inner will.
Mm-hmm.
It follows that the performance and fulfillment of the mitzvahs is the innermost garment for the innermost aspect of God's will. Since it is due to this performance of the mitzvahs that the light and life of the world issue forth from the divine will to be clothed in them. Like we said, right? You want to build a house, you have to destroy the old house, you have to buy tools, you have to excavate. Those aren't desires. Those are means or tools to get to the desire. And once the house is there, it was all justified. The excavating and the this.
Fixed. It's warmer.
Hence, the mitzvahs are figuratively described as the limbs of the king, just as the limbs of the human body are a garment for its soul and are completely and utterly surrendered to it. So why are they called limbs? Why are they called limbs? Because a limb is not like you don't have to, when you want someone to do something for you, you have to tell, you have to talk. There's a delay, you have to convince, you have to persuade. But the limb is an extension of the brain. And when the brain wants something, the limb automatically does it. Immediately when a person, next page, as is evident from the fact that as soon as a person desires to stretch out his hand or foot, they obey his will immediately. They are, they listen immediately, right, without any delay. without any command. Ella, but at the very instant that it enters his will to do so. So just as the limbs of the body, the organs are completely united with the soul and are surrendered to it. That's the body is an incredible thing that it fits like a glove to the soul. It's like it meshes with the soul, right? I mean, it really it connects. So it's not connect. It becomes mesh to the soul. So when the soul wants it, the body does it. The limb does it. So too, the life force animating the performance and fulfillment of the mitzvahs completely surrendered to the divine will, which is clothed therein. The life of the actions of the mitzvahs are surrendered to Hashem's will. So the actions of the mitzvahs that you're doing become like a body to God's will. Mm-hmm. Likewise, the external garment of the divine soul, meaning action, we said the divine soul's garments, expressions, right? Like action, speech. So when the divine soul gets its will and it executes a mitzvah, does a mitzvah, then its faculty of action, which is external compared to the faculty of speech and thought, since it functions outside oneself, it clothes itself in the vitality of the performance of the mitzvah. And thus it too becomes like a body to a soul in relation to the divine will. And it's completely surrendered to the divine will. Closes itself in the vitality of the mitzvah, and it becomes like a body to a soul in relation to the divine will and surrender to it. Yeah. And in this way, the organs of the human body, which perform the mitzvah, meaning the organs which the divine soul's faculty of action is clothed during the performance and fulfillment of that mitzvah, they too become a vehicle, an actual vehicle for the divine will. For example, the hand which distributes charity to the poor performs another commandment.
What was that last point?
The hand which distributes charity performs another commandment. The hand becomes becomes the vehicle. It becomes like the vehicle for the mitzvah. It gives charity. Similarly, the feet which walk for the purpose of filling the mitzvah, or the mouth and tongue which speak words of Torah, or the brain reflecting on the Torah, the fear of heaven, and the greatness of God, blessed be He. Anything that does the mitzvah is becoming a vehicle for Hashem as well. This is what the sages meant when they said the patriarchs were truly the divine chariot, because all their organs were completely holy and detached from mundane matters, and throughout their lives they served as a vehicle for nothing but the divine will.
Wow.
Okay.